So, welcome to today's live stream where I want to discuss with you one of the biggest challenges facing most coaching entrepreneurs, and that is getting more discovery calls booked. So, if you're like most coaches, you're passionate about helping people, passionate about getting your message out there, creating a positive impact in the world, and yet it can be really tough to attract the right clients and fill your calendar with high quality clients and inquiries. So, the good news is, of course, there are proven strategies that you can use to pretty much immediately impact your coaching calendar. You'll see an increase in the number of discovery calls that you do book. So in this video, I'm going to be going through what those strategies are. So my name is Sanae Floyd. I'm a business breakthrough coach and sales mentor. And I've been using these strategies over the years to consistently attract high quality leads and grow my business. So without further ado, let me dive into what those are with you. So the first thing I would say to you is you've got to have clarity on your numbers. This is so important because if you think about, your brain is a goal-seeking organism, and when it has that clarity and direction and focus and it knows exactly what you're shooting for, what you're aiming at, it's amazing what clarity, what resourcefulness, what creativity and opportunities you will manifest. So really drilling down to what are your numbers, how many leads and sales do you want to make in order to hit your monthly income goal. So let's start breaking this down. So if we said, right, a pretty aspirational monthly income goal for many coaches is the 5-figure month. So let's start with an easy number, let's say 10,000. So if you have an income goal of $10,000 per month, and you have a signature coaching package, this is for ease of maths, is $2,000. So you know that in order to achieve your 5-figure income goal, you need to sign 5 clients per month at your $2,000 package. So let's be really conservative here and imagine that you have a 50% conversion rate. So for every 2 people you speak to, you can convert 1 into your signature package. So we now know that for your 5 clients per month, you need 10 discovery calls or 10 inquiries, 10 people that you need to speak to. That is being very conservative, but let's just go with those numbers for, again, ease. So 10 discovery calls per month is the goal. So if we broke that down per week, let's say it's 2.5 discovery calls, but obviously we can't do 2.5, so we're just going to round it up. You now know that you need 3 discovery calls per week. So with that number, you can start to measure your activities, seeing what works, what doesn't. It no longer becomes like this arbitrary activity where you think, well, I don't know what works. I don't know what my conversion is. I don't actually know how many calls I need to book or how many people I need to be speaking to each month. So it's important to drill down first of all and get clarity on your numbers. Okay, so the second strategy is having clarity on your who. So this is about knowing exactly who it is that you're marketing to. This is so important. Too many people have a lack of clarity in their who. They might say, yeah, I know exactly who my ideal client is. It's somebody aged between, I don't know, 35 and 55. That right there is not an ideal client age. That's an age range. That's a 20-year age span. And immediately I can tell you that somebody who is age 35 is at a completely different life stage than somebody who is at 55. So it's really important to really drill down and be super specific, because when you know the age of your ideal client, you know the stage of life they're at, you're likely to know more about their family situation, their, where they're at in their career. So it's really important to dial down to your who. when you know exactly who you're talking to, this will inform everything else you do. It will inform where you hang out, it will inform the nature of your messaging, your marketing strategy. You will know exactly how to speak to that person because you'll know what they're struggling with, what their pains and frustrations are. You'll know what their desires are. So all of that means that you can craft content that will powerfully resonate with these people. And this is when you get people reaching out to you, private messaging you, saying, oh my God, it's like you're reading my mind. Thank you so much. How can I work with you? So that's when you start to attract people into your business, meaning you don't need to do any of that cold, icky outreach, the kind of stuff that just doesn't feel good and that doesn't work anyway. It ends up just putting people off when you spam their inboxes. So the other point about your ideal client that I want to add here is actually setting an intention, not only on your ideal client avatar, that's essential, but also it's worth setting intentions around the type of client that you want to attract. So this is more about the kind of qualities that you want your ideal client to own, to have. So I often say to my clients that it's worth just creating a list or having two lists, one piece of paper entitled, you know, the qualities of my ideal client, the characteristics that I want to attract, and then what I do want to attract and what I will not tolerate, what I don't want to attract in these two lists. So, for example, in the list of qualities that you want to attract, you might define that you only want people who are coachable, who take responsibility, 100% responsibility for their life and their actions, who are fast payers, who are fast action takers, who are the decision maker in their, in their business. So you start to set these intentions. Equally, you set intentions, meaning you set boundaries around who you won't tolerate. When you actually define these and spell these out, it's amazing how quickly you can spot these people. And so you know, I don't want to work with these people. So again, it's people such as, you know, you don't want to attract people who don't take responsibility, who are perhaps whiners, complainers, they're not coachable, they may be late payers. You don't want those traits, so it's worth just defining that for yourself. And of course, you attract who you are. So ensure that you're operating in integrity and embodying the characteristics and qualities that you want to attract in your ideal client. Okay, so the third piece, we've got clarity in your numbers, clarity in your who. The third piece is having clarity in your offer. And again, I see this time and time again as a source of struggle for so many coaching entrepreneurs who are struggling to get discovery calls, is that they don't have a clearly crafted coaching program or coaching offer. And what this does is it kind of creates this internal conflict, like a push-pull energy that actually repels people from coming forward and booking a discovery call. This is like on a deep energetic level, but it's a very, very kind of tangible result because, you know, your discovery call calendar is empty. So what do I mean by clarity on your offer? Well, this is about having a well-crafted package that provides a solution for your ideal client. So it addresses the pain points, you know exactly what they're going to get as a result of working with you, that you know the length of the program, you know how many calls, all the deliverables that they're going to get as a result of working with you, you know the price, you know that's nailed on, you know exactly how much you charge. So having all of that nailed on means that as you're showing up, you have this congruence in your messaging. So when I talk about internal conflict, it's almost like your heart is going out there saying, yes, I can help you, I want to, I want to help you, but there's a part of you that is pulling back, like holding onto the reins, saying, we don't know how, yes, I want to help, but I don't know how. So that's why you sabotage getting people booking calls with you. So make sure you just come back to the drawing board and ensure, am I completely clear on what it is I'm actually selling, what it is I'm actually offering here, and how much? Okay, so the fourth piece here is getting crystal clear on your purpose. Now, what I mean by this is the purpose of your activities, your visibility strategy. So if you are struggling to attract clients and you're showing up consistently and you're doing everything you know that you should be doing and nothing is happening, then you might start to be creating some stories around what's happening. So you might start to say, this is really hard, nothing's working, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, people are ignoring, I'm invisible. And so you start to create these stories, or what I call mentations, which are like negative affirmations. You start to beat this drum of like what's going on and how hard it is. And of course, by the law of attraction, you start to perpetuate more of the same. You create this worldview that then anything that comes in, you don't perceive it because it's not a match to this struggle version of your worldview. So when you are in that place, when you're sharing that, kind of repeating that story to yourself, and maybe to anyone who will listen, it's so hard, nothing's working, you're going to stay stuck in the problem. So you'll just attract more of the same. So it's really important to reframe what is going on and why you're doing it. So your purpose. So for example, when you're showing up and you're sharing your message, you want to come at this not from a place of what will this get me? And when you stop coming from that place, you also save yourself that awful kind of constantly updating your notifications to see who's engaging with your stuff. You don't want to come from that place. You want to come from a place of purposeful contribution. Like, how can I help today? What can I give today? What does my ideal client need to hear from me today? So as you're showing up from that energy, you start to detach from the outcome. You just create your best piece of value. You create something that is really inspired. You put it out there, you come back, you create again with no attachment to what's gone out there. This actually then starts to feel more fun. You start enjoying the process of being visible and showing up and sharing. And that loving energy, that fun, starts to infuse into everything you do. And people feel it. They can pick up on it. It's deep energetics, but people can tell when you're coming from a place that is aligned and full of goodness and love versus being desperate and needy and coming from fear. And just in alignment with that piece, I also want to invite you to take the focus off the need to sell. I need to sell, and selling has all this like charge around it. If you feel like, oh, it's so icky and it's uncomfortable, and I was always told not to toot my horn, and it's bad and all of this. When you have that going on around your activity, that whole story, and you've given it that meaning, again, it's going to be very difficult to show up and feel aligned and feel joyful in your activities. So it's about being aspirational, being inspirational, sharing what you know, giving of your knowledge and your value and your skills without any attachment to the outcome. Just be present, produce, and allow the fruits to take care of themselves. And they will. By law, they will. Okay, so final few points is, of course, to be consistent in your activity and your visibility, to really flex that muscle, because over time it then becomes habitual. You start to show up, really feels hard at the moment, you've got to push through that and start to flex that muscle of being consistently visible on behalf of your business, on behalf of yourself, and of course for your ideal client. As you are showing up consistently, that's what develops the know, like, and trust. That's when people start to get familiarized with your brand, with your name, your voice, your message, what it is you're here to do, the problem that you solve. All of that becomes familiar. And again, it's well known, people prefer that which is familiar. So as soon as somebody is ready to invest, they have the problem that you solve, you're familiar, they already know, like, and trust you, you're going to be front and center, first choice for them when they're ready to buy. So it's so important to be consistent. The other point around consistency is also to remember that it's not just about your external activities, your productivity, but it's about being consistent with your mindset work, really daily flexing the muscle of self-belief, self-confidence, getting yourself like really in a state that becomes a habitual high vibe state. Change your frequency, up level. And as you do that, you start to attract more and more that is a match to this sort of raised consciousness, if you like. This was an absolute game changer for me when it came to really filling my discovery call calendar with high quality leads and growing my business. So discipline equals freedom at the end of the day. And final piece I'm just going to add in here that has been, again, a strategy that has transformed my business really from, very early days when I overcame the initial fear, and that is video. So it's so important. It's the fast path to connecting with your ideal clients and really creating that deep know, like, and trust very, very quickly. So yeah, doing video as much as you can, doing live streams, sharing your value in that way. It's really powerful. The statistics around video have never changed. It's one of the fastest ways to really connect with your ideal client. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. So just as a summary, you've got to get clarity on your numbers, get clarity on your who, your ideal client avatar, so you can craft messaging that really resonates. Get clarity on your offer, so know exactly what your signature package is, how much, what are the deliverables, what's the problem that you solve and how you solve it. Get clarity on your purpose, so come from a place of contribution and love rather than that needy, desperate energy. And of course, be consistent and start doing video if you're not already. So I hope you found this helpful. If you've got questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Put them below, and I will speak to you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.